get a seat, everyone, because this is important. It's about the security of this country and what President Muhammadu Buhari, most of you have been talking about hashtag what Buhari must do in this second term. So let's get talking, everyone. President Muhammadu Buhari today has accepted the report and recommendations of the Human Rights Commission with a promise to fully implement the recommendations. The president has also pledged to strengthen the operations of the commission to enhance the effectiveness and capacity to resolve cases of human rights violations. Some of the key recommendations of the panel include the establishment of state and local government police. It also recommends a significant improvement in the funding, kitting, and facilities of the Nigeria Police Force, strengthening the police rapid response complaint unit, and ensuring the anti-robbery section limits itself to tackling armed robbery.
This administration will continue to fulfill its obligations of promoting and protecting human rights of Nigerians, and will give the National Human Rights Commission all the support required to ensure full implementation of the recommendation contained in its report. Are enforceable as decisions of the court that the Inspector General of Police and the Solicitor General of the Federation, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice, meet with the Commission to work out the modalities for the implementation of the report within 3 months from today.
You heard the president to receive the report, to look into it in 3 months. So a lot of people have been talking about restructuring. And anytime this conversation comes up, perhaps one of the first 3 elements of restructuring that is being mentioned is the issue of state policing. Especially, it comes so strongly in the nation in this discourse about how to safeguard the lives and properties of Nigeria with a spate of violence that we're seeing in several states of the Federation. So a lot of people have been advocating for state police. Now that the president has the recommendations, what is the way forward? We're looking at the legal implications, the modalities, and the security aspect of all of this. So we got that all for you tonight, so you get a sense and take the necessary action in your mind. Let me get my panel introduced to you tonight. I have both of them in our Abuja studio. Dr. Wesley Dausa is a former member of the House of Representatives and a lawyer. He's in our Abuja studio. We'll also be joined at some point on the program by a former Commissioner of Police, Bayami Akirimale. Mr. Honorable Wesley Dausa is there in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Honorable Wesley Dausa, for coming on tonight. Let's begin the conversation quickly on what this means for Nigeria, the Nigerians. You are one of those people who have talked about what needs to be done to restructure this country. And a lot of people have said there is a constitutional imbalance. It needs to be restructured. Are we seeing some kind of partial restructuring coming to play?
Well, I think what has happened now is that it has dawned on our country that there need to be some form of refederalization in this country, or what others may refer to as restructuring. And one of the key components of the restructuring that many have clamored for is the rearrangement of the security apparatus of Nigerians within Nigeria, particularly as you know that the most paramount duty of government is the protection of lives and properties. And that once you depart from that, you are no longer protecting the sovereignty of the individual. You are then running a government at your pleasure. So it's a very welcome development. We will like to see how this goes. We understand that they have a 3-month window to do that, but this will involve a lot of work on extant laws. It will involve some reforms within the Constitution itself, and then on the Police Act, both of which seem to have exclusively given the powers to police Nigeria to that force in place today known as the Nigerian Police. So it will mean, therefore, that the National Assembly will now begin to work earnestly on tampering with Section 214 of the Constitution, which makes it exclusive for the Nigerian Police to be in charge of Nigeria and every part thereof, and which makes it illegal for any other form of police to exist anywhere else in Nigeria other than the Nigerian Police Force as created under Section 214. Now, the Police Act also puts the exclusive preserve of policing in the hands of the Nigerian police as constituted. Again, that will have to be amended to accommodate the ambition of the government and the recommendation of the Ojuku panel for state and local government police to now come into the arena.
Great idea. I mean, we are going to be getting the experience and the fact that the benefit of your experience as a former lawmaker, you know how this works, you know how long this can take, so you can be able to tell us on the program tonight. And also the fact that you're a lawyer and you have a PhD in policy and governance. What a perfect combo that we have in one person. Tonight is a good day to talk to you, Mr. Wesley Dawusa. Tell us, the person you see in President Muhammadu Buhari, does he have the political will to decentralize police, to make state policing and local government policing happen in present-day Nigeria?
Well, I have my fears with respect to how efficiently this can be handled. But let's look at it from the starting point. The starting point will be to amend the Constitution and to allow the states to enact laws with respect to their police formations. Because if you look at many other federations, if you look at the US typically, you will find that the powers to create state police is vested in the local legislation of all such states. Now, it means therefore that in dealing with the Constitution, I think it's almost a given that everyone wants a state police, and it means that it will be easy to get 24 states of the Federation to endorse and ratify those proposals that the National Assembly will then pass by way of constitutional amendment. Then the big problem there will be funding. Whether many of these states will be in a position to fund their police when they do create it. And then there should be no uniform requirement of time for takeoff of state police. I do believe that once the enactment is passed for all states to be able to create their police force, then it means that those states that are immediately ready can commence the creation of their police force, while those states that are not strong enough can continue to rely on the federal police until such a time that they can create their own police force. I think that would be a good point to take.
Mr. Kirimale, you that you have served in the Nigerian police force, how does this report come to you? Is it something that you have been long expected, or, well, one of those reports that you think might just be languishing in some shelves in Abuja?
Well, it's a fait accompli, because talking about the contraries of state police now is like flogging a dead horse. The decision has been taken. Our father has given a go-ahead, but there are always two sides to a coin, the positive side and the negative. How do we make it work? That is what we should be talking about now. So in order to do that, because the present constitution, as we have it, contemplates a united Nigeria and decentralized police. That's Section 214 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which states there shall be a police force. There shall be established a force to be known as the Nigeria Police Force. And subject to the provision of this Constitution, no other police force shall be established for Nigeria or any part thereof. That Constitution must have contemplated friction as the duty of government to reduce friction. But then, having experimented with that Constitution, and the people having agitated that they wanted state police, well, we have to yield to their desires, and that is what the president has done to satisfy them. But then we have to look at the probable consequences of some of the implementation. But what should we do? Because right now, up to 40% of the policemen and women that serve in the states come from that catchment area, within that zone. It is only the senior officers that come from different parts of the country. The majority of them, they reflect that area. And it gives me joy if I, from one of those states, goes to Sokoto, and I meet some policemen that are from my state. It gives me a sense of national unity, It gives me comfort. I feel happy about it. But then, the structural arrangement, if it is such that we still retain the majority of the people that we serve in that state to be from that state, but the senior officer will come from other parts of the country, if that is the structural arrangement, well, that would be a welcome development.
Okay, let me, Mr. Kerimale, it's very crucial to gain from your experience tonight. And a lot of millions of Nigerians who are watching tonight are with high hopes as to when the president gets and approve this. It has not been approved just yet. The president is still waiting for a white paper to be submitted on the modalities of implementation. But as it stands right now, do you think state policing is a way to go? Not only a recommendation on that premise, technically speaking, is that a solution to the insecurity in the nation?
Well, it may serve some useful purposes in some area, but if you listen carefully to what the president said, he said the modalities for the implementation are yet to be worked out. If that modalities are properly worked out, it may solve some of the security situation, because if it is lined up that if the governors are given the power to run the police in the state, these are the things they can do, these are the things they should not do. They should not use it to play one ethnic group against the other. So when those modalities are being worked out, conditions must be given for the implementation. Otherwise, the potential for its abuse is very high. So those abuses are the areas that those who are working out the modalities must look at. And they restrain the abuse of state police. The abuses are many. The potential for its abuse are very many.
All right, let's look at this. A lot of Nigerians, or a lot of people who have studied outside of the nation will say, if we are implementing the kind of federalism that will work for this nation, we have to make it in such a way that it will be peculiar to us, the kind of system that works for us. You've served and you retired in the Nigerian police. If we were to break down and unbundle the Nigerian police, for example, have a federal police and have a local police and the state police, how do you think it can work?
Well, it can work if the modalities are well spread out, just as I've mentioned. If you unbundle the police, it can work because you have to spell out the pros and the cons, how they should operate, what they should do and what they should not do. As I did mention, the potential for abuse is very high because it is more unified to have a centralized police. As far as it's unfortunate that I have to speak on this topic because I'm an apostle of a centralized police. Because unity is strength. And the most beautiful bird in the forest is the multicolored bird. And we have to treat cases purely on their merit and on the facts of the case, and not on the fact that it is from my state or it's from my ethnic group. Laws are laws. Badness is badness and goodness is goodness.
Right.
What is bad is bad. What is good is good.
Let's perhaps, from that point you made, Mr. Kerimale, let's allow Honorable Wesley Dawson to send us to the end of the program. You've heard what, technically speaking, practically speaking, what Mr. Akere is reservations about a decentralized police. But from a political, a legal, and a parliamentary point of view, what are the possibilities and what are the ways out? And what perhaps are the landmines that we need to watch out for, just in a few seconds, so that we can close?
Well, I think that it's inevitable to decentralize the police ultimately. I mean, it's part of the beginning of our refederalization. What is important is to guide the establishment with strong laws that are well thought out. And these laws will define the character of the state police and providing checks to abuses, and that will include the setting up of a number of commissions, which will include the appointment of certain people from professional bodies across who are accomplished in security matters as part of the policy formulation structure. And above all, the funding should be on the first line base. It should be coming straight from the Federation, so control over funds directly and then begin to call the
we're out of time.
Once you remove
But, Honorable Wesley, we're out of time. But just in a second or two, tell us, so an executive bill will be passed from the President to the National Assembly if this is going to be moved for action, isn't it?
Definitely. Definitely.
All right.
And that will have to be passed and sent to 2/3 of the states.
Wow. That's going to be a long one, perhaps 6 months or more, or almost a year. Mr. Kirimale, it's a pleasure having you and getting a benefit of your experience in the Nigerian police force. And Honorable Wesley Dawson, always a pleasure gaining from your experience and your knowledge of law. Thank you so much. That's our show for tonight, everyone. It's a continued conversation, and we'll keep tabs on it. That's it for from Lagos, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.